The night was quiet, the city was sleeping, and the stars were shining far above in a small apartment on the edge of town. A young man named Daniel sat alone, staring at his old computer. He was not special, not rich, not famous, just another human trying to pass his time. But tonight something was different. Something strange was calling him. And he did not know why. Daniel loved space. He always read about planets and galaxies. He liked to listen to the signals from the sky using an old radio scanner. Most nights he only heard static noise, empty sounds, nothing important. But on this night the static changed, the sound shifted, and a strange pattern appeared. It was not random. It was like a voice hidden inside the noise. At first Daniel thought it was a mistake. Maybe broken equipment, but the sound grew stronger. Clear enough to make his heart race, the voice was not human. It was deep echoing, full of power. It spoke in a language he did not know, but somehow his mind could feel the meaning. The message was simple, it said. "You have been chosen." Daniel's hands shook, he whispered to himself. Chosen? Chosen for what? The room felt colder, the lights flickered, and outside his window the stars seemed brighter than before. He wanted to turn the machine off, to forget everything, but the signal held him like chains. The voice came again, louder now. "Do not fear. We are near. Step outside. Look at the sky." Slowly, Daniel walked to his window. His breath heavy, his heart fast. The night sky looked normal. But then a line of light cut across the stars. It was not an airplane, not a shooting star. It was something bigger, something alive. The light grew larger until it filled half the sky. Shining with silver and blue, Daniel whispered. This cannot be real, but his eyes could not look away. The ground shook under his feet. A humming sound filled the air. Every dog in the neighborhood barked. Birds flew away in panic, and yet no one else seemed to notice. The city slept while Daniel stood frozen. The light moved closer, slower, like it was searching for him. And then it stopped right above his building. Daniel's room exploded with brightness. His computer shut down. His phone went dark. Only the signal remained vibrating inside his head. He fell to his knees, covering his ears, but the voice was not outside anymore. It was inside his mind. Daniel, human of Earth. You have been chosen. His body felt weightless. His vision blurred. The floor under him melted away. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. The world around him stretched, twisted, and vanished into darkness. He was no longer in his apartment, no longer on Earth. He was floating inside a tunnel of light. Endless and silent, fear gripped his chest. But there was also a strange calm. The voice spoke again, softer now. Do not resist. Your path has been written. Daniel felt like he was being pulled forward. Faster and faster. Through the tunnel he saw images, alien cities. Strange stars, creatures with shining eyes. He wanted to close his eyes, but the visions forced themselves into his mind. At last the light faded, the tunnel ended, and Daniel dropped onto a smooth floor. The air smelled sharp. Metallic, not like Earth. He looked up and gasped. He was inside a giant chamber, walls glowing with blue symbols that moved like liquid, and around him stood figures tall and shadowy. Their bodies wrapped in strange armor. The beings stared at him silent, their eyes burning with cold fire. Daniel's knees trembled, his throat dry. He wanted to speak, but his voice broke. The tallest figure stepped forward, raising a hand covered in silver light. The voice returned inside his mind, stronger than ever. You have been brought here for the ritual. Daniel's heart thundered, his thoughts raced. What ritual? What did they want? He stumbled back. But there was no door, no escape. The aliens moved closer, circling him like hunters around prey. The tallest one leaned close, its voice echoing through his bones. You are the chosen human. You will see what no other has seen. You will obey. Daniel's breath caught. Sweat ran down his face. He tried to shout, why me? But the chamber answered only with silence and the heavy sound of alien steps. He realized there was no turning back. His life on Earth was over. The strange signal was not a mistake, it was a summons, and he had answered it. The shadows grew darker, the lights pulsed faster, and Daniel felt the truth hit him like a storm. He was not a visitor here, he was a prisoner, and the ritual was about to begin. Daniel stood frozen in the glowing chamber, his chest rising and falling like a drum. The tall alien before him did not move, but its burning eyes studied him like a puzzle. The others stood in a wide circle, silent, waiting, their shadows stretching across the walls. The air was heavy, thick with a strange hum, like the room itself was alive. Then the tallest alien spoke. Not with a mouth, but inside Daniel's mind. You have been chosen for the sacred ritual, the one that binds worlds together. Daniel swallowed hard, his voice shaking. What ritual? Why me? But the aliens did not answer with words. Instead, the circle of beings began to move. They walked slowly around him, each step echoing like thunder. Their armor glowed with shifting patterns, lines of blue, red, and silver that pulsed with strange energy. One by one, they raised their hands toward him, and Daniel felt the pressure grow inside his skull. His legs shook. He wanted to run, but there was nowhere to go. No door, no escape. The tallest one lifted its hand higher, and the floor beneath Daniel shifted. The glowing lines moved like rivers, forming a giant circle around his feet. Symbols lit up bright and sharp, wrapping him in light. Daniel gasped as the floor rose slowly, lifting him above the aliens like an offering. The voice came again, louder. This is the ritual of truth, the stripping of the hidden, the revealing of what lies beneath. Daniel's stomach twisted. He whispered to himself, stripping, revealing. What does that mean? The aliens looked at each other, their eyes glowing brighter, and together they chanted a sound he could not understand. It was deep, shaking the walls, filling his chest with vibrations. Daniel covered his ears, but the sound was not outside. It was inside his bones. The symbols around him flared brighter. Burning like fire, he fell to his knees, gripping the glowing floor, his breath short, his heart wild. The tallest alien stepped forward and placed a hand on Daniel's head. Instantly, his mind exploded with visions. He saw a field of stars tearing apart, planets breaking, whole worlds burning in fire. He saw humans screaming, running, fighting shadows they could not defeat. And above them, creatures with glowing veins, tall and terrible, reaching out to claim the earth. Daniel screamed, "Stop, stop this," but the vision would not end. The alien voice thundered, "This is the future. Unless the ritual is complete." He fell backward, gasping, his body trembling, sweat dripping from his face. The aliens stared, waiting, their glowing eyes cold and unblinking. Then the tallest one spoke again, softer this time. "The ritual begins with trust." "You will strip us bare." Daniel froze, confusion washing over him. "Strip you? What are you saying?" The alien raised its arms, the armor glowing brighter. "You must remove our coverings layer by layer, until you see us as we truly are." Daniel shook his head, his voice breaking. Why me? I don't even know who you are." The alien leaned closer, its massive frame towering above him. "Because you are human, and only a human can see the truth without breaking." The words struck him deep, but they did not make sense. One of the other aliens stepped forward. Lowering itself on one knee, it extended a hand, palm open. A gesture almost human. Daniel stared, his fear fighting with curiosity. His heart screaming to run, but his mind whispering to stay. Slowly, his hand reached out, trembling, touching the cold surface of the alien's armor. The moment his fingers brushed the surface, the armor rippled like liquid. It was not metal, it was alive. It pulsed like skin. Daniel pulled back with a cry, but the alien caught his wrist gently. "Do not fear, continue. This is the ritual." Daniel swallowed, sweat running down his neck. He pressed his hand again, pushing harder, and the armor peeled away like layers of light. Beneath it was not what he expected, not wires or machines, but flesh that glowed faintly with blue light. It looked fragile, almost human, but with patterns running through it like rivers of fire. The other aliens stepped closer, lowering their heads, waiting. Daniel realized they wanted him to strip each of them, one by one, to reveal their true selves. His hands shook as he reached for the next one, peeling away the strange armor, revealing the glowing flesh beneath. With each layer removed, the aliens seemed less terrifying, more vulnerable, more alive. But the room trembled with every act, the lights flashing brighter. The voice inside his mind whispered, "You are binding yourself to us, human, piece by piece, truth by truth." Daniel's chest tightened. He felt both fear and wonder. He was beginning to understand this ritual was not about power, but about exposure, about showing the hidden. The tallest alien stepped close again, lowering its head until its burning eyes were level with Daniel's. "The ritual is not finished, Daniel of Earth. You must see what lies beneath us all, and only then will you understand your place." Daniel's breath caught, his hands trembling. He knew the next step would reveal something far greater, something he might never be able to forget. And as the chamber filled with blinding light, Daniel realized the truth. This was not just a ritual. It was a test, and if he failed, the cost would not be his life alone, but the future of his entire world. Daniel stood in the circle of glowing symbols, his hands trembling, his breath uneven. The alien figures around him waited in silence, their glowing eyes fixed on him. He had stripped away the first layers of their living armor, revealing the strange glowing flesh beneath. But the ritual was not finished. The chamber pulsed with brighter light. As if urging him forward, the tallest alien raised its hand, and the voice filled his mind again. You have begun the ritual, human. But now comes the command. Daniel swallowed hard, his chest tightening. What command? What do you want from me? The alien leaned closer, its presence heavy like a mountain. You must strip us bare until nothing is hidden. Until the truth beneath all layers is seen. The words struck him like thunder. Daniel's heart raced, his mind screaming that this was madness. He whispered, almost begging, No, I cannot. This is too much. But the aliens did not move. They only waited, their circle closing tighter around him. The tallest one pointed to its chest, its armor glowing brighter. Begin, the voice commanded. Cold and final, Daniel hesitated, his fingers shaking, sweat running down his neck. Every part of him wanted to run, but there was no escape. Only the glowing walls and the unblinking eyes. With trembling hands, Daniel pressed against the alien's chest. The armor rippled like liquid again, melting away as if it wanted to be removed. Beneath it was more glowing flesh, pulsing with blue and silver veins. But deeper inside, something darker stirred. Shadows crawling under the surface. The alien did not flinch. It stood tall and still, allowing him to continue. Daniel's stomach turned, his throat dry. But he forced his hands to move. Layer after layer fell away, each more fragile than the last, until he saw something that made him gasp. The alien's heart was visible, glowing like a burning star inside its chest. It pulsed with raw power, every beat shaking the floor beneath him. Daniel stumbled back, his voice weak. What are you? How can this be real? The alien's voice thundered in his head. Do not fear, this is the truth of our being. But you must continue, strip all of us, for the ritual is binding. Daniel's knees shook as he turned to the next alien. It lowered itself before him, exposing its chest, waiting. His hands moved slowly, pulling away the layers, revealing more glowing flesh, but this one was different. Beneath its skin were scars, deep and burning. Carved with strange symbols, Daniel touched the scars, and visions flooded his mind. He saw battles in space, wars fought in fire, entire species destroyed. He saw the aliens fighting creatures of shadow, losing again and again. The pain of centuries burned through him, and he cried out, clutching his head. The alien's voice entered his mind, softer this time. This is why we need you, human. We cannot face what is coming alone. Daniel gasped for air, his chest tight, his mind spinning. He looked around the circle, each alien waiting, each one ready to be stripped bare. He realized this was not only about them showing their truth, it was about forcing him to see it, to carry it. The tallest one stepped forward again, towering above him. The command is not only to strip us, but to accept what you see. Daniel froze, his voice shaking. Accept? How can I accept this? I am just one man. The alien's eyes blazed brighter. One man is enough if his spirit does not break? The chamber trembled, the lights flashing like storms. Daniel fell to his knees, gripping the floor, his heart racing faster than ever. The weight of their command crushed him, but deep inside a spark of strength flickered. He whispered, If I do this, what happens to me? The voice answered, cold and final. You will never be the same. Human, you will carry our truth, our scars, our pain, but you will also carry our bond, and through you, your kind will rise. Daniel's eyes widened. He could not believe what he was hearing. They wanted to mark him, to change him forever. He was not chosen for luck. He was chosen to be a vessel. The aliens moved closer, their circle closing tighter, their shadows taller. The tallest one raised both arms, and the chamber shook like an earthquake. The command echoed in his skull, tearing through his thoughts. Strip us bare, Daniel of Earth, and face the truth that lies beneath all lies. Or be destroyed. Daniel's chest burned. His legs weak, but he stood slowly, his fists tight. He looked into the glowing eyes of the alien before him, his fear still there but buried under something stronger. He whispered to himself, I will not break. And with trembling hands, he reached for the next layer. The chamber went silent, all eyes on him. Every movement of his fingers felt like a storm, every breath like a battle. And as the armor peeled away once more, Daniel realized the truth. This was not only their command, it was his trial. His chance to prove that a human heart could endure what no alien heart could. The walls pulsed brighter, the symbols burned hotter, and deep inside, Daniel felt the moment coming. The moment when the ritual would reveal something even greater. Something that could change not only him, but the fate of all humanity. The chamber glowed brighter than fire. The walls alive with symbols. Daniel stood in the middle, his chest rising and falling, his hands trembling but steady. He had followed the command, peeling away the alien layers, seeing their glowing flesh, their scars, their hearts like burning stars. But he knew the ritual was not finished. The circle of aliens still surrounded him, silent and waiting. The tallest one stepped forward again, its burning eyes locked on him. "You have obeyed the command, human, but the ritual is far from complete." Daniel wiped the sweat from his face, his voice shaking. "What else do you want from me?"
"I have done everything you asked." The alien raised a hand.
And the walls shook with power. "Now comes the hidden truth, and you must face it." The words echoed inside Daniel's skull like thunder. The floor beneath his feet split open, revealing a deep pit filled with swirling light. Daniel stumbled back, fear rushing through his veins. The light rose upward like smoke wrapping around him, pulling him into visions once again. He saw Earth, his own world, spinning in the dark, but the vision twisted, and Earth was covered in fire. Oceans boiling, skies filled with shadow. Daniel cried out, "No! Stop this," but the images grew stronger. He saw alien ships above Earth, not the ones before him, but others darker and sharper, dripping with black fire. The voice of the tall alien thundered, "These are the Scourge, our ancient enemy, the destroyers of worlds, the hunters of life," Daniel gasped, his heart pounding. "Why are you showing me this? What can I do?" The alien's voice softened, almost like sorrow. "Because only through the ritual can you see what no human has seen. Only through truth can you prepare." The vision changed. Daniel now saw the aliens themselves, not as warriors in armor, but as broken beings, their glowing bodies scarred, their hearts dim. He saw them falling in battle, entire colonies destroyed, their people running from shadows. For the first time, Daniel felt not fear of them, but pity. They were not gods. They were not monsters. They were survivors. The tallest alien lowered its head. "We hide our weakness behind armor. We hide our fear behind power. But the ritual strips us bare, and now you see us as we are, broken but unbroken, wounded but still standing." Daniel stared, his voice weak. "You chose me to see this." "Why me?" The alien stepped closer, its massive frame casting a shadow over him. "Because you are human, and humanity carries a spirit we do not. The spirit that refuses to die. Even when all hope is lost." Daniel's throat tightened, his chest heavy. He realized the ritual was not only about stripping their bodies, but stripping their lies, their pride, their masks. They wanted him to see their pain, their fear, their truth, and in that moment, Daniel felt the weight of their choice settle on his shoulders. The chamber shook again, the pit of light rising higher. The aliens chanted in their deep voices, filling the air with thunder. The symbols on the walls moved faster, spinning like storms. The tallest alien raised its hand again. "Now, Daniel of Earth, you must give your truth. For the ritual binds both ways." Daniel froze. His breath caught in his throat. "My truth? What do you mean?" The alien's eyes glowed brighter. "Strip yourself bare as you have stripped us. Show what lies beneath the human shell. Reveal what you are, or the ritual cannot be complete." Fear gripped him tighter than ever. He could face their scars, he could see their pain, but how could he reveal himself? He was no warrior, no hero, just a man with fears and mistakes. He shook his head, whispering, "I can't. I have nothing to show." The alien's voice struck him hard. "Lies, every being carries truth hidden deep, and yours is why you were chosen." Daniel fell to his knees, his hands covering his face. Memories poured into him, his childhood, his losses, his failures, all the moments he wanted to bury. He saw his father walking away when he was a boy, his mother's tired eyes, the nights he cried alone. He saw his mistakes, the friends he lost, the dreams he abandoned. Tears streamed down his face, the visions tearing at his soul. The aliens watched in silence, their glowing eyes steady. The tallest one whispered into his mind, softer than before, "This is the hidden truth. Human, not strength, not power, but the wounds you carry, the pain you hide, show it. and the ritual will bind you to us. Daniel lifted his head slowly. His face wet, his eyes red for the first time. He felt the chamber not as a prison, but as a mirror. He realized the ritual was not about stripping flesh, but stripping pride, stripping lies, stripping fear. His truth was not his victories, but his scars. The same way the aliens had shown theirs. He stood trembling but taller than before. He spread his arms wide, his voice breaking. This is me, broken, scarred, afraid, but still here. Still human. The chamber exploded with light, the walls blazing, the pit of light rising to the ceiling. The aliens bowed their heads, their voices blending into one. The ritual is accepted. The bond is sealed. Daniel's chest burned. His heart racing, but deep inside he felt something shift. He was no longer just a prisoner, no longer just a chosen. He was now a bearer of their truth, and they were bound to his. And in that bond a new path had opened, one that could save or destroy them all. The chamber was silent now, the glowing walls dimmer, as if they had given all their light. Daniel stood in the center, his chest heavy, his face still wet with tears. The aliens surrounded him, their glowing flesh bare, their scars revealed, their hearts burning like stars inside their chests. The ritual was complete, the truth had been shared. But Daniel felt no relief, only a deeper weight pressing on his soul. The tallest alien stepped forward, its towering frame casting a long shadow. Its voice entered his mind, steady and calm. The bond is sealed. Daniel of Earth, but now you must know the reason. The truth hidden behind all truths. Daniel frowned, his voice weak. Reason. You mean this wasn't the end? The alien's eyes glowed brighter. No, human. This was only the beginning. Daniel's heart pounded, he whispered. What are you keeping from me? The alien lowered its head, and for the first time, its voice carried something like sorrow. You believe you were chosen by chance, but that is not so. We have studied your kind for centuries. We watched your wars, your rise, your endless struggle. Daniel's stomach tightened. You were watching us all this time. The alien nodded slowly. And from billions of humans, we chose you, because you carry what we seek. Daniel shook his head, confusion in his eyes. Why me? I'm no one. I'm not a leader. I'm not special. The alien's voice grew louder, filling his skull. You carry the fracture of pain and the fire of survival. That is what makes you unique. That is why you were chosen. Daniel's legs trembled. He whispered, You knew about me, my life, my pain, before this night? The alien's burning eyes locked onto him. Yes, Daniel, your suffering was not hidden. Your truth was already seen, and it made you the only one who could bear our truth without breaking. Daniel's breath caught, his chest heavy, his mind spinning. They had not chosen him by mistake, not by random fate, but by design. All the loneliness, all the scars of his past, they had watched, studied, judged. The ritual was never just about trust. It was a test to see if his brokenness could hold their burden. The chamber pulsed with light again. Brighter this time, the other aliens stepped back, their heads bowed, as if preparing for something greater. The tallest alien raised both arms, and the walls shifted, opening like giant doors. Beyond them was a corridor filled with light. Stretching into darkness, step forward, Daniel, the voice commanded. Daniel shook his head, fear clawing at him. Where does it lead? The alien's reply was heavy. To the heart of our truth, the final revelation, the reason why you are here. Daniel's legs moved against his will, carrying him into the corridor. The walls glowed with shifting images. Visions of Earth, humans working, fighting, laughing, crying. But then the images twisted, showing humans enslaved, controlled, their eyes empty. Daniel's chest tightened. What is this? The alien's voice echoed behind him. It is one possible future if you fail, if humanity fails, Daniel stumbled. His heart racing, he walked deeper into the corridor, until it opened into another chamber, vast and endless. At the center of it floated a massive sphere, glowing with fire and shadows. The tallest alien appeared beside him, its glowing scars brighter than ever. This is the seed of memory. It holds all that we are, all that we have lost. Daniel stared, his mouth dry. Why show me this? The alien turned its burning eyes toward him. Because now you must carry part of it. You must take into you what no human has ever known. Daniel froze, fear surging through his veins. Take it into me. Are you insane? I'm human. I can't hold something like that. The alien's voice thundered, shaking the chamber. You must, for without it, Earth will fall, and all your kind will be slaves to the scourge. Daniel's knees weakened, his chest burning. The truth hit him like a storm. The ritual was never about exposing them. It was about preparing him, he whispered. You're trying to make me into something else. Something not human. The alien leaned closer, its voice low. No, Daniel, we are trying to make you more human than any before you. A bridge between us and your kind. A weapon of truth against the shadows. Daniel's head spun, his heart a storm of fear and rage. He wanted to run, to scream, to deny all of it, but deep inside, he remembered the visions of Earth burning, the people crying, the ships of fire in the sky. If he refused, if he walked away, it would all come true. The alien extended its hand, the sphere of memory glowing brighter. Take it, Daniel of Earth, let it bind to your soul, and you will see the final truth. Daniel's breath shook, his hands trembling as he stepped closer to the sphere. It pulsed like a heart, each beat pulling him nearer. He reached out slowly, his fingers brushing the surface. A shock of fire raced through him. Burning every nerve, he screamed, falling to his knees. But the sphere melted into his chest, sinking deep inside. Visions exploded in his mind, galaxies, wars, endless lifetimes of knowledge not his own. The aliens surrounded him, chanting in their thunderous voices. Daniel's body shook, his eyes glowing with light not of Earth. He gasped, his voice breaking. What have you done to me? The tallest alien's voice filled the chamber, final and unshakable. We have given you the truth, Daniel of Earth. Now you are one of us. Daniel collapsed to the floor, his body burning, his mind drowning in visions. He realized the ritual had never been about choice. It was always fate. And as the chamber closed around him, he understood the twist. He was no longer just a human. He was something far more dangerous, something Earth was not ready to face. Daniel lay on the glowing floor, his chest rising and falling like he had run through fire. The sphere of memory had sunk into him, filling his body with alien visions and endless knowledge. His eyes burned with light not of Earth, his mind drowning in images of galaxies, wars, and forgotten truths. But the chamber was silent now, the alien standing in a circle waiting for the next step. The tallest alien stepped forward, its voice deep and cold inside his mind. The memory is within you, Daniel of Earth, but you are not yet bound. To carry our truth, you must survive the final trial. Daniel pushed himself up slowly, his arms weak, his voice trembling. Final trial after everything. What more do you want? The alien's burning eyes locked on him. Not want, human need. If you fail this, the bond will shatter, and your kind will fall. The chamber began to shake, the walls shifting, the floor splitting apart. Daniel stumbled, his heart racing as the glowing circle beneath him cracked open. The light swallowed him, pulling him down into darkness. He screamed, but no sound left his mouth. Only silence surrounded him. When the light faded, he found himself standing on a barren plain. The sky above was black, broken by rivers of red fire. The ground cracked under his feet, sharp and jagged, and far in the distance, dark shapes moved, crawling closer. Daniel turned in a circle, panic in his chest. Where am I? The tallest alien's voice echoed in his mind, but now it sounded far away. This is the trial of fear, Daniel. A place shaped by your mind, by your deepest shadows. If you cannot face them, you will die here, and Earth will die with you. Daniel's chest tightened, his breath short. The dark shapes in the distance grew taller, their bodies twisting like smoke and fire. Eyes glowed red, thousands of them all staring at him. And then the shadows spoke in voices he knew too well. You are nothing, Daniel, one hissed. You are weak, broken, worthless, another whispered. Voices of his past, echoes of his own fears, the words that haunted him his whole life. He dropped to his knees, clutching his head, shouting, Stop! Leave me alone! The shadows grew closer, their eyes burning brighter. They towered over him, whispering all his failures, all his regrets. You could not save your mother. You could not keep your friends. You are alone because you deserve it, Daniel cried out, his tears burning his face, his body shaking. The alien voice echoed faintly, Stand, Daniel, or be destroyed. The trial of fear can only be passed if you face yourself. Daniel's heart thundered. His fists shaking, he remembered the ritual, the hidden truth he had shown, his pain, his scars, his broken past. Those things did not make him weak, they made him human. He forced himself to stand, his body trembling. The shadows circled him, their whispers sharp like knives, but he lifted his head, his voice raw. Yes, I failed, yes, I am broken, but I am still here, I am still alive. And I will not bow to you, light burst from his chest, the memory of the sphere glowing like a sun inside him. The shadows screamed, twisting in pain. Their red eyes fading, Daniel stepped forward, his hands burning with white light. Each step made the shadows shrink. Each word made them weaker. "I am human, and humans do not break," he shouted. The ground shook. The sky cracked open, light pouring down like a storm. The shadows dissolved into nothing, their voices silenced. Daniel collapsed to his knees, his chest burning, his breath heavy. But he had survived, he had faced his fear, and he had not broken. The barren plain dissolved, the fire fading, the darkness melting into light. Daniel found himself back in the chamber, lying on the glowing floor. The aliens stood around him, their heads bowed, their eyes burning with respect. The tallest one stepped forward, raising its hand. "The final trial is past, Daniel of Earth. You have faced fear and survived. You have carried truth and not shattered. Now the bond is complete." Daniel looked up, his body weak but his spirit burning. He whispered, "What am I now? Am I still human?" The alien's voice answered, "You are more than human, but you are still of Earth. You are the bridge, the weapon, the bearer of our truth." The chamber exploded with light, the walls glowing brighter than the sun. The symbols on the floor lifted into the air. Circling Daniel like fire, they sank into his skin, burning but not harming, leaving marks that glowed faintly on his arms and chest. The aliens bowed deeper, their voices joining in one thunderous chant. "The bond is sealed, the bearer has risen. The trial is complete." Daniel stood slowly, his body glowing with new power. He felt the scars of his past, the weight of the memory, the strength of his survival. For the first time, he did not feel weak or broken. He felt ready, but deep in his heart fear still lingered. Because the visions of Earth burning were not gone. They were closer now, and he knew this power was not the end. It was only the beginning of the war to come. The chamber glowed like a rising sun, the walls alive with symbols that pulsed in rhythm with Daniel's own heartbeat. He stood in the center, his body trembling but stronger than before, his skin marked with glowing lines from the ritual. The aliens bowed around him, their glowing flesh exposed, their hearts burning like living stars inside their chests. The final trial was complete, yet Daniel felt the weight of something far greater pressing down on him. The tallest alien stepped forward, towering above him like a mountain, its eyes burned brighter than fire, its voice echoing inside Daniel's skull. "You have passed the trial, Daniel of Earth. You have faced fear and carried truth. Now comes the revelation. The reason for everything." Daniel's throat tightened, his voice rough. "The reason? Tell me, why me, why this? What am I now?" The alien raised its arms and the chamber walls shifted, opening like giant windows into the endless void of space. Stars filled the sky, millions of them, bright and endless. But then the stars began to vanish, swallowed by shadows that spread like black fire. Daniel gasped, his chest heavy. "What is that?" the alien's voice thundered. "The Scourge, destroyers of light. Hunters of life, they have devoured countless worlds. They will soon reach Earth." Daniel's heart pounded, his fists clenched. "So all this, the ritual, the trials, it was to make me fight them." The alien nodded slowly. "Yes, human, but not only to fight, to lead, to carry our truth into your kind. For alone you cannot win, but together, you may stand a chance." Daniel's breath shook, his mind racing. He thought of Earth, of people living their normal lives, never knowing what was coming. He thought of children laughing, families eating, people dreaming under peaceful skies, and he saw them all burning just as he had seen in the visions. The tallest alien lowered its head. "We could not stop them, our armies fell, our worlds burned. We are survivors, nothing more, but humanity is different. Your spirit resists even when hope is gone, and that is why you were chosen." Daniel's chest tightened, his voice soft. "You put all this on me, one man. How can I carry it?" The alien's voice struck him hard. "You are not one man, Daniel, you are the bridge. What you carry will spread. It will awaken your kind, and they will rise with you." Daniel felt the memory inside him burn brighter. Visions filled his head. Humans standing beside aliens, fighting together, ships of Earth and ships of light side by side. But he also saw blood, fire, endless sacrifice. He whispered, "If I do this, there's no turning back." The alien stepped closer, its massive hand resting lightly on his shoulder. "There is no turning back for any of us. The scourge comes whether you choose or not. But with you, humanity may stand without you. They will fall." Daniel closed his eyes, his heart torn. He was just a man, broken, scarred, filled with pain, but maybe that was why he could do this. He opened his eyes, staring into the endless stars. His voice steady, though quiet. Then I accept. I'll carry this, I'll fight, I'll lead, but I'll do it as a human. The chamber shook, the walls blazing with light, the symbols spinning like storms. The aliens lifted their heads, their voices rising into one thunderous chant. The bearer has accepted, the bond is sealed. The war begins. Daniel's body glowed brighter. His chest burning with power, his scars alive with fire. He felt strength he had never known, but also a weight that crushed his soul. The memory of the aliens, their pain, their battles, all of it was now inside him. The tallest alien spoke again, its voice softer, almost like respect. You will return to your world now, Daniel of Earth, but you will not return as you were. You carry our truth, our scars and our hope, and through you, humanity will awaken. Daniel's breath caught. Return back to Earth, the alien nodded. Raising its arms, the chamber spinning with light. The floor dissolved, the symbols rising around him. Daniel felt his body pulled upward, weightless, carried by the bond. The aliens grew smaller below him, their glowing eyes fixed on him. The tallest one raised its hand in final salute, its voice echoing, "We are with you, bearer." Always, the light swallowed him whole. Twisting, spinning, rushing like a storm, he screamed, the fire of memory burning inside him. But he did not break. When the light faded, he was lying on the floor of his apartment, the old computer dark, the city outside still asleep. It was as if no time had passed. But Daniel knew everything had changed. He stood slowly, his hands glowing faintly with the marks of the ritual. His eyes burned with light when he looked in the mirror. He whispered to himself, "It's real, all of it. And they're coming." Outside the window, the stars shone as always, but Daniel no longer saw them the same. He pressed his hand to the glass, his voice steady. "They think I'm nothing, just one man. But now I carry the truth of another world. And when the shadows come, they will see what humans are." The glow in his eyes flared, the bond alive within him. And in that moment, Daniel knew the revelation was not just about aliens, not just about war, it was about humanity, about what they could become when pushed to the edge. He was chosen not for power, but for spirit. And as the first light of dawn touched the city, Daniel whispered one final truth. The scourge will come, but we will not bow, we will rise.